If you're a high school student that's feeling stressed out by college applications right now, you are definitely not alone. My name is Polly. I've walked alongside thousands of students through the college application process, and I'm just here to pop in and remind you that you do not need to be stressed out right now. I want to share some data and trends that have been happening over the past couple of years that just might ease your mind a little bit and decrease your stress during the college application process. Number one, did you know it's easier to get into college today than it was 10 years ago? Yep, the average college acceptance rate across schools is 73%. So you've got a really great chance overall if you just get your applications in. So why is it becoming less difficult to get into most schools? Well, in 2008, there was a huge financial crisis, and so your parents went through a lot when they had you. Take some time to thank them for all that they've done for you. But because of that, there was a decrease in birth rates, and so there's what people are calling the college application cliff, where we're expecting fewer college students to apply in 2025. So this means that schools are actually actively looking to fill their classes. I have some good friends who work in college admissions, and some of the schools are actually super stressed out about filling their classes. So you have a great chance to get into a lot of schools because of that. Most schools overall are becoming much less selective. However, the top schools, the repeat offenders, the Ivy League schools, they are becoming increasingly selective. And that's because we have a huge portion of international students coming in, and the brand of the Ivy League schools is very, very strong. So if you're applying to any other school that's not in those top schools, most competitive schools, you'll have a higher likelihood of getting in. Those more competitive ones, you are going to have to work a little bit harder to stand out of the pack, but I can help you with that if you need any help with that. So hopefully that decreased your stress a little bit. If you're still stressed out, that's okay. We can focus on what you can control. So what you can control is knowing what the schools are looking for so that you can make your strongest application. And so I'm going to just give you some hard data because I feel like data really helps me in decreasing stress, because I know, okay, this makes a lot of sense. I'm grounded. I understand what's going on in the terrain. So last year, the National Association of College Admissions Counselors asked students what they thought college admissions cared about the most. And 34% of students said that they thought that colleges cared about admission test scores the most, which is interesting because actually about 24% of colleges don't even consider college admission tests. So that's like the SAT, the ACT. And last year, when there was the test optional policy, less than a quarter of students, so less than 25% of students, even submitted their test scores. I've also talked to some admissions counselors, and they are relieved to not have to look at test scores because they're advocating for you. They really care about you and they want you to come to their school. So they have been like, oh my goodness, now we don't have to consider this score and we can really bring in the students that we want. And only 7% of schools require testing. So a majority of the schools you'll be interested in or you'll be applying to won't even require testing. We've also seen through the data that a majority of students who do report their scores are higher income and more wealthy, which makes a lot of sense because if you have time to hire a SAT coach or ask for someone to tutor you in the ACT, SAT, that you'll have a higher likelihood of getting a good score, and so you then will want to report your scores. And if you do get a good score, there are reasons to report it. So a lot of schools offer honor scholarships, which give you a full ride to attend their school, or allow you to get into certain classes that are only available to you if you report your test scores. So it still makes sense for you to take those tests. However, it's much less likely that your admissions will be affected if you don't submit your scores. Only 4.9% of schools said that test scores were an important factor when considering a college application. So let's talk a little bit about what schools are actually looking for. So the National Association of College Admissions Counselors also asked all of the different universities what are the most important factors they consider when looking at an application. The top 3 factors that schools consider most important when considering a college application are High school grades in college prep courses. 76.8% of schools said this was the most important factor that they consider. So be sure that you're taking advanced classes and classes that are of interest to you. Number 2, total high school grades. So your GPA does really matter. 74.1% of schools said that's one of the most important factors when considering a college application. Number 3 is the strength of your high school curriculum. So as you'll see, none of those are what the high school students thought. They didn't really think the strength of their high school curriculum was all that important. But actually, the strength of your high school curriculum is incredibly important for colleges. So if you are a freshman or a sophomore or a junior looking at this video, be sure to go to your school counselor and say, I'm looking to take competitive classes. I want to strengthen my high school course load so that I'll be more appealing to college applications. There's also a new feature or trend that has come out, which is direct admission. So if you use the Common App or if you use Concourse, you can just apply directly to a school and get immediately accepted to that school. So that decreases a whole lot of stress and also gets you a response earlier. So you can be like, whew, I already got accepted to this school, so why not apply to all these other schools that are a little bit more competitive, knowing that you already have been accepted to a school. If you see anything out there that says college admissions are getting harder, this is such a stressful thing, be sure to take that with a grain of salt, because when we look at the data, college admission is actually getting easier for students, and schools really want you. They are actively looking to fill their classes. Now, when it comes to the more competitive schools, it is becoming more difficult to get into those schools. However, if you need help with that, please feel free to reach out to me, come step into my office, and we can definitely help you curate a common application or a separate individual application that really highlights your strengths and makes you stand out from the crowd. The college admissions landscape is constantly changing. If you know anything about FAFSA or what's going on with all of that, there's a whole lot of stuff that changes every year. So I will keep you updated. Again, feel free to reach out, and I'd love to help you through this process. The last thing I want to say to you is that most people treat the college application as like a check the box, trying to get it through, trying to get it done, stressed out, last minute kind of thing. But if you take the time to really go through the process, it can be a way to self-actualize and to get to know yourself a little bit better. So each of the essay questions and each of the forms that you have to fill out are painting a bigger picture of who you are. And that can be kind of fun to be like, ooh, who am I? Let me explore who I am and what I want and what I'm interested in. So the college application process, from decision to submission to matriculation and beyond, can be an amazing, rewarding, and really fulfilling experience where you can get to know yourself. So hopefully this made it a little less stressful for you during the college application process. And if you need any more help or if you want some more data, feel free to reach out to me. You can go to thecollegeapproadmap.com or you can email us directly at info@thecollegeapproadmap.com. I hope that you find this college application process a rewarding and fulfilling experience where you get to know yourself a little bit more and find out what it is you really want in this world. And if there's any way we can help you, please let us know. Good luck with your applications. You've got this. Go team.